and smoking way too many of my cigarettes. And we're standing in front of Masuda Chow's over on Main Street, and because of the neon lights, he's bleeding purple, as if he was constellated by bullet holes, and his insides are lava lamps, bruised from too much partying, and the light is just leaking out. And he's riled up for no particular reason, and because this is Buffalo, after all, we don't need a reason to be riled up. We don't need a reason to drink overpriced wine slushies. And even though we promised our moms we'd try sobriety for a little bit, here we are. And the bar band inside is rapid firing through some of Johnny Cash's greatest hits. We can hear cheering and clapping because everyone in this town pretends that they're an outlaw. As if Buffalo was some kind of tumbleweed outpost on the outskirts of the American West, and we're all cowboys at heart, looking for sundown, so we can take our guns out and rile up in the dust. It's an episode of Westworld, but without any deeper meaning, so we never reach a higher level of consciousness. A bunch of robots who never break their narrative. It really bothers me that everyone in this town is okay with being toxic. That's the way it is. That's the way of life around here. But anyway, my buddy's going through some stuff, which is why we're out tonight. And at one time or another, my buddy, let's just call him Sam, was really into religion. Not like Sunday religion, the kinds of religion that cracks open the emptiness inside your brain when every word you say has wings and flies around you. Anyway, Sam is thinking about the bigger picture. And after he's done smoking like 3 of my cheap cigarettes, he grabs a chair, stands on it, and begins sermonizing. He's all like, "In the beginning, God created heavens and buffalo." Now, buffalo was formless and empty. A bunch of screams that needed mouths, mountains of chips that needed shoulders to cry on, divine eyes that looked like factories, spitting out waters that formed rivers and lakes, and the Spirit God was hovering above the waters, throwing chicken bones into the dark ground like darts. And when they landed, they took root, and the softness bloomed into chickens for us to smother in grease and eat forever and ever. Amen. Some people laughed and some people cheered, but it's not hard to find people who would cheer and laugh at just about anything. The bouncer, who's wearing a Bills hoodie, came over to him and said, "Now, you can't do that. I don't want to ask you to leave, but you're kind of causing a scene." And he doesn't seem like the type that is looking for a fight, which is rare for a bouncer in this town. So Sam quiets down, lights up another cigarette, and looks all glum. And I really shouldn't say anything that will upset Sam, because I don't want him to get so shaken up that I'll have to call an ambulance to get him help. But I don't bite my tongue. I never bite my tongue, because if you bite your tongue, you'll have no tongue left. So I'm like, "Come on, Sam, chicken wings, really?" And Sam's like, "What do you mean?" So I'm like, it's too much of a Buffalo thing. Like, I think we all get it. I'm from Buffalo, you're from Buffalo. Everybody in this place right now is probably from Buffalo. And if we take the cheap way out and use language that everybody knows, food they've eaten, Timbits and stuff, will never influence them enough to actually turn their lives around. And I think that's probably what we're here on this planet to do. Change things for the better. And Sam's like, "Because we're artists?" And I'm like, "No, because we're human beings." And the moment those words leave my lips, I'm upset with myself. because I've just responded to a cliche with a cliche. Like, we took a vow of silence, called off work for a month, and all we did was order Chinese food and watch YouTube videos. But anyway, a month of ordering Chinese food and nothing else. So we have a bunch of fortune cookies, and we save those little slips of scripting. And after 1 month of our solitude is done, we go out in the world with those fortunes in our pockets, and we try to communicate with the world around us. All we do is reach into our pockets and pull out one of those tiny pieces of paper. Imagine a world where people only communicate in the language of fortune cookies. That's kind of how this feels like. Being depressed and talking to a loved one about depression. This ping-ponging of cliches and hoping that something sticks, but you know that it won't stick. Nothing ever sticks when you're empty on epiphanies, and your serotonin is lacking, and you're stranded on the 33 in the darkness of an all-American city, overflowing with toxicity. And it's funny. It's really funny because you can't spell toxicity without city. And as if we're always going to be cursed. That if we gather together so we're not alone, forming cities to squash all this loneliness, it'll always be a little toxic. I don't know. Sam's not talking, so please, God, let this be a night where I don't call an ambulance. Today, it's up to you to create the peacefulness that you long for. All right. If you refuse to accept anything but the best, you often get it. We're too old for nights like this. Too worn out to spread fortunes we've been blessed with. Anyway, I get Sam. We go home, and his girlfriend is waiting for us with a scowl on her face. Sam's suddenly laughing, which is a good sign, but that's how these nights usually end up. Someone's laughing before they pass out, and she's like, "You're a bad influence." And I'm like, "I love you too." I ain't no fortunate son. No. Afterwards, I go to the old Bright Knox, because God knows I won't be able to sleep, because I never can. And at night, this whole art gallery is by itself, and I'm pretending like I'm the owner of all of it. And anyway, across the street, this elderly woman is waiting for the bus, and although I'm pretty sure the bus has stopped running, she waves me over. So I go to her, and she shows me all the cigarette butts that she's collected. And she asked me for a light, because her lighter is out. And I hate when that happens. Yeah.